And this one is not an expansion to the original game. This one's actually a standalone sandbox-style campaign version of that game, and there are a lot of differences in this game, but there is still going to be that same feel. This one is also not a legacy game, but there is a core rule set that you're going to be learning and playing through at the beginning of the game, and then new rules will be added as you play through the different chapters. What's also neat about this is that when you start the game, there's just going to be one section of land that all the players are going to be playing on, but the map is actually made up of all these big jigsaw puzzle pieces, and as you explore out and take actions that have you exploring new land, you're going to be taking those appropriate tiles and adding them onto your board. But like I said, this is a sandbox style game, so there's going to be lots of flexibility with developing your character and deciding which skills you want to invest in, what type of land you want to own and where, and what kind of legacy you want to create. Players can play as outlaws or try to earn an honest living, or even try to play as the sheriff themselves. Of course, this new version is going to be much more focused on that story arc than the original game, and players will be influencing that overall story as they make different decisions and as they make different successes and failures throughout the game. This narrative takes place over 5 chapters, and each chapter is going to be represented by its own deck, but you're only going to be playing with a subset of those cards each time you play through this game, so if you do decide to start over again, you can get a completely different story arc with a completely different ending. What's also really cool about this is that there's going to be a bunch of different game control characters as well that also have their own deck of cards, and the decisions you make and interactions you have with those characters are also going to dictate how they develop within that story arc, and you're also only going to be able to see a subset of their cards depending on what happens in the game. The layers don't end there though, because there's also going to be a whole deck of different secrets that players can uncover that all can offer different benefits, can be found in all different areas of the map. I should probably also mention that this one is my own personal pick of the week. The original game has been really well received and refined over the years, and this one is making further refinements that I believe will only improve the game more. And if you are a fan of games like Red Dead Redemption, like I am, this is about the closest you're going to find of a board game version of that game. And a really cool overlap here is that if your character dies in this game, there's actually other characters that will succeed you, and you're going to be taking control of those characters instead. And if you've played the original Red Dead, that probably sounds familiar to you, but if you haven't, well, I think the game's been out for long enough that you can't be mad at me for any spoilers, but that may or may not happen at some point in the game. But like I said, this version's going to have a completely rewritten rule set, and it's going to have completely redesigned cards and game elements, but still will give you that familiar feeling of the original game, maybe just in a little bit more of an epic package. If this one sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out, and I will have it linked down below, and of course you can click to get notified once it launches.